Hey everybody, it's Jimmy the Curator from the ASOM, here for another installment for the Hidden Treasures of the ASOM. But before we get going with that, I'd like to invite everybody to come down to the museum to see our super cool, awesome new temporary exhibit, the Ghost Army of World War II. Come on in. Hey, so here we are in the lobby of the ASOM. Over to my left is where the temp exhibit is for the Ghost Army of World War II. So if you thought I was going to take you inside and let you see it, that's not how it's going to happen. You guys got to come down here if you want to see it. So it's really cool, and be here through the end of April. So you got plenty of time. Come down and see us. Hey everybody, it's Jimmy again. We're back in the collections room for the museum, and today on Hidden Treasures of the ASOM, we're going to do a little different twist on some of the things that we've done in the earlier segments where we focus on US soldiers and World War II. So today we're going to look at Vietnam from the enemy perspective, the Vietcong. And the bulk of today's collection actually comes from a 173rd Airborne Brigade soldier. Staff Sergeant Charles F. Mendat. He volunteered for airborne service and the 173rd in October of 1965. In January of 66, he's in country with the unit, and he was assigned to the chemical section of the 173rd. And as part of the chemical section, one of his jobs was to be a tunnel rat. And for those of you who may not know what a tunnel rat is a guy who would literally crawl into a hole underground and search through a tunnel complex that the Vietcong would use to store equipment, sleep, medical, cook their foods. So they went underground to hide from the US soldiers. And Staff Sergeant Mendat was just one of those guys who did that. So if you want a good scene of what a tunnel rat is, watch Platoon and watch Sergeant Elias, who's played by Willem Dafoe. There's a great scene in a tunnel rat. So with that being said, we're going to look at some things that Staff Sergeant Mendat captured during Operation Crimp in January 1966. So one of the first things he took out during being in the tunnel, and the operation was actually a joint US-Australian mission, and they were looking for a Vietcong headquarters that was supposedly in the area. Months later, the 5th Infantry Regiment of the 25th Infantry Division would go in and have a major battle with those guys that were in the complex. But these are what's commonly known as Ho Chi Minh sandals. And they were worn by the Vietcong. And these sandals were made out of many things. Lots of times the items that US soldiers and supply would throw away. So these sandals are actually made out of, if you can see it, Jeep tires. Same Jeep tires used in World War II, Korea, and Vietnam. This is the outside tread pattern, and this is the inside. And they would find strips of rubber, cut it through and pull it, and that's the part that holds your feet in place. And this would be a heel strap. So he came out with this, a cup and a spoon, which is hammered. If you look carefully, you can see how rough it is. It's been hammered out and then spun to make a cup, and then a hammered out handle. And this is what the Vietcong would eat and drink with, as well as a set of chopsticks. Now I know they look metal, they're not bamboo or wood, but these would last longer than a wooden set of chopsticks, and they're easier to keep hold of. They even have a little ring there where they could hang them or put them in a pack. These would be easier to clean so the Vietcong soldiers wouldn't get sick. And also within the tunnel, he found a lantern. And this lantern is actually made out of a medicine bottle. And this is the handle. And then the top actually comes out, and you can see the string that was used as the wick for a lantern inside the tunnel, which was obviously very dark. This is pretty neat too. It's spring loaded, so the cap can go on and twist, and it'll keep the lamp from continuously burning. Pretty ingenious. Last thing I've got to show you, Staff Sergeant Mendant didn't capture this, but this is actually part of the Army Museum artifact collection. You guys probably will recognize this. It's an ammo box, US military, discarded by a soldier or a unit, and the Vietcong actually put a radio in it. Now the purpose of that would be to keep it from getting wet and away from the moisture, because Vietnam, as everyone knows, is wet a lot of the times. This particular part is actually your power supply. They would plug it in and hook it up to a battery. These three knobs will tune in the frequency or channel that they wanted to talk to. And here's you might be able to see this move a little bit, so they could tune in to the right frequency. This little piece here is for a headset. And then this little piece here would be for where they plug in a microphone and actually communicate back and forth. So a lot of the things that the US military were discarding were actually used against them later on. And stuff like this, the radio, shoes, things of sustenance that keeps the Vietnamese soldier alive. Just goes to show the ingenuity, not only of the US soldier, but the enemy soldier and what the US soldiers had to fight against. So, hope you guys enjoyed seeing this. We'll see you next time on Hidden Treasures of the ASOM. See ya.